Hello, welcome to Kreations by Klare. I'll be showing you how I upcycled and repainted, added clay molding to this beautiful wood I purchased at my Goodwill store for $5. I liked it because it's heavy solid wood with that rustic old hand, and it has interesting carvings or ridges on its side. Uh, the paints I used was Mod Podge, Waverly ink, and Waverly Snow White, and Antique Wax by Art Minds. I will be decoupaging the inside of the tray with these napkins. They're 2-ply, and I ordered them from Amazon. And I'll also be applying some on the sides of the box. Here I painted the box with the color ink from Waverly. It only took one coat. Now I'm going to paint the wood tray Snow White, and I think it's going to require at least 2 coats to cover top of the wood tray. I hand sanded the entire wood tray, especially on the tops, and I wanted that black paint to peek through. And also you'll see my little triceratops. You'll see the completed version at the end. Thought it was fun painting him also. Here's the interesting looking ridges that was part of the wood tray. So I was carefully hand sanded that also. After the second coat of white paint was dried, it's ready to decoupage. I also noticed that I had saw some stains coming on the inside. I probably should have shellacked it, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to go ahead and decoupage, which should cover the stains. I cut the napkin for one of the sides before I cut for the second. I wanted to make sure that the pattern was the same for the both pieces. It took me quite a little few minutes. I was getting a little confused uh, on the pattern, but I wanted to make sure I double checked and measured to have the pattern lay the same on both the insides of the wood tray. I removed the second ply of the napkin and discarded, and I will be using Mod Podge to apply the napkin. I'm checking to make sure that the pattern is the same on both before I start to decoupage. So now I brushed on the Mod Podge on one end of the inside and just tapped it in with my pencil. So I think I had to adjust this a couple times to get it just right on the edge. And if I have any excess, I'll cut it out with a sharp X-Acto knife. I'm using a dry brush. This is actually a chalk paintbrush to help me smooth down the napkin once I lay it down. And this assisted me pretty good. And now I'm going to Mod Podge or decoupage my second napkin into the other side of the wood tray. And I think it's looking so pretty so far. I love this blue and the white together. And now I'm applying a coat of Mod Podge on top of the napkin. After a day or two, I'll check to see if the Mod Podge is dry. But if it still feels sticky, I'll let it dry another day, and then I'll apply a second coat. And I'll also apply a coat for the whole on the entire wood tray. I purchased these baroque clay and candy molds from Amazon, and I'll just be using certain ones to apply to the sides, top sides of the wood tray. With a small paintbrush, I spread a little cornstarch in the areas I'm going to make the mold. This helps the clay release a lot easier. And these molds are so tiny, so I had to be very careful. And I did end up uh, going over the edge. I used this clay tool to trim the excess clay off the casting. I didn't get it quite perfectly. You could also use a butter knife or a little X-Acto knife. And be sure to put away your clay, your air clay, in a tight container. I have it in a Ziploc bag container. Now I'm ready to apply the clay castings to the wood tray, and I'm using E6000. The clay is still a little bit soft, and I'm going to be measuring the distance between each of these little clay castings, just to make sure they're just a good uh, balanced in between. I do adjust a little bit. After a few hours to allow the clay to dry, I didn't want to break off any of the pieces. I applied a small amount of antique wax on the clay castings, and I removed some of the wax off with this paper towel. I didn't want a full-on rustic look, so I applied the wax very sparingly, and I applied it also on the sides of the woods of the tray. In addition, I also put a little bit of wax on the inside of the decoupage paper and a little bit around the handle. The next day, to allow the wax to dry, I painted the entire wood tray with Mod Podge. I let it dry several days before I began handling and using. Here's my beautiful finished upcycled wood tray. How do you like it? Please let me know in the comments. Thank you. Here's the second project I was working while doing the wood tray. My little play triceratops. I finished him off by applying the gold metallic acrylic to the head. And I love his white polka dots and pink legs. Now he's going to make a great partner in crime in my upcycling crime. I hope you enjoyed and were inspired by this upcycle. I sure had fun upcycling this wood tray. Thanks for watching.